But with Corba, every minute of your time is like a party. Corba makes life simple. It allows you to transfer funds across all bank accounts or mobile money wallets, top up airtime and data, pay your insurance, TV, utility bills, and many more with pleasure, anytime and anywhere. In addition, you get a free life insurance cover while you make your payments with Corba. This is more than you expected, I know. Use Corba and enjoy life's little pleasures. Download Corba, spelled Korba, on the Play Store or App Store, or access it via the WhatsApp channel 0242 426 186, or just dial star 365 hash. Corba, our lives simplified.
Well, if owning a new home or buying a second home or buying land to build your dream home is one of your goals for 2021, then here's some real help from First National Bank. Now, First National Bank has declared 2021 as the year of home ownership, YOHO 2021, to help make home ownership a reality for many Ghanaians. YOHO 2021 offers a unique opportunity for all resident and non-resident Ghanaians to access First National Bank's suite of home loan offers, get relevant advice on home ownership and guidance to overcome some of the hurdles to ensure you are on the housing ladder by end of 2021. Bank.com.gh for more information. YOHO 2021, moving you from a tenant to a homeowner. First National Bank, how can we help you?
All right, so let's, shall we quickly see what's in the papers?
Yes,
Yeah? Okay.
really quickly. I'm going to start with a Chronicle this morning. And the scripture this morning is Galatians 6, verse 9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest. Amen. Mining law frustrates military and fight against pollution of water bodies. IMF lauds Ghana for effective management of COVID-19. Government on track to fixing power transmission palaver. Afram Plains South makes inroads in development. And Giba, Prinpag, and GJA mad over attack on journalists. That's it for the Chronicle this morning.
The Finder is reporting this morning transfer fares to increase by 20% from today. It has a picture of the transport minister, and there's a statement that they've issued in that direction, talking about. I just wondered what the conversation with the president was, that we arrived at the 20%, but it looks like people are bent on making sure that the recent increase in tax and other things reflect at the pump. And also in the church that you'll be sitting in this morning. Now, despite increasing electricity tariffs by only 2.8%, 2.7 billion saved in energy sector due to prudent measures in 4 years. Dr. Opoku Prempe, you know, he has some, there's this nice picture from the ministry with some people hanging on the lines in the sky, and it has a inscription, Doom, Ye Doom SCC, as in we are putting it off so that we can fix it. So it's almost like not doom so, but doom fix. And his explanation, the minister's explanation, is that your power is going off because people are working on the lines. And when they are working on the lines, there can't be power in there. Then I saw Benjamin Boachi of ASEP come out to say that, well, there is evidence that people can still work on the lines when your power is off. So there could be other reasons why your power is going off. That's very little to do with people working on the line in the sky. So clearly, we need further explanation. And this has been a trend when it comes to how the energy ministry has operated in this space. Virtually every time it comes out to give reasons, one of them may be problematic. It was first Bui that we arrived at the Ghana gas one. Now it is whether or not you can hang in the sky and have power. But, well, those are the stories on the front page. There's one. Alleged assault of City FM's journalist requires independent probe. One Ghana movement. That's also on the front page, yeah.
Okay, so let's get to the Business and Financial Times. A year on, any Springfield yet to utilize oil fields. And Jospon signs MOU with a U.S. company to construct waste-to-energy plant. And pandemic exposes fragility of informal sector. And also on the front page, trading activity on the Ghana Stock Exchange sees marginal slump in April. Analyst says retail investors are holding on to well-performing stocks and calls for more information to drive market activity.
Okay, so there's a story in the middle page of the Ghanaian Times, a little bit alarming. Rich Hospital blood bank empty. So if you have time, please do pop by and donate some blood. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, government saves $1.42 billion on rescheduling of 3 power PPAs, that's according to Energy Minister. 7 electrocuted, 4 injured in rainstorm. IMF commends government for effective management of COVID-19. Jospon, U.S. company signed deal to construct Ghana's first waste-to-energy plant. Attack on 2 City FM journalists. 3 media groups are calling for restructuring of national security. That's it for the Ghanaian Times this morning.
Now, the Daily Graphic is reporting this morning, and anymore before I go, yes, the IRSO as well on commission asks for restructuring of national security.
Okay.
We are ready to see whether that has happened, but the evidence suggests that. I mean, they ask for other things too, but the evidence suggests that it's not happened the way it ought to happen anyway. Now, the Daily Graphic is reporting this morning. COVID-19 vaccination continues on Wednesday. Today is Monday, 2 days away, right? And 360,000 to receive jabs. Exercise will last till May 26. So the indication is that from the executive president who took his own first to all of you who took your own between the first and the
week.
9th,
Yeah.
you can go and do it. Every other person can wait. Every other person will have to wait your turn because this is just 360,000. It's not enough for everybody because you have done almost 800,000. It's those who urgently need to have their second one because their first one will be useless if they don't get a second one. They are supposed to go first week. Don't forget that.
Yes.
Don't just go and rush there and go and cause any chaos there. Anyway, now, Josport partners U.S. company to construct energy plants. There's one about 7 persons, including family of 5, electrocuted, and the one to do with the ENI is also on the front page here. Maximizing petroleum resources.
And the Daily Guide for this morning says we're on course to solve doomsaw, $1.4 billion saved. Ghana's economy rebounding, says IMF, and Opuni Agungu injured state financially. That's according to the judge on the case.
Judgment has been...
No. Asking them to open their case, open their defense, because they had actually filed for a no case. And the judge says, well, the prosecution has been able to show this is, so it's important you open your defense. And based on that, we can then rule. So, if the prosecution had not been able to prove anything, show anything, the judge would have just, thrown the case out and said, this is a no case. But because, according to the judge, Clemens Wenyemuga, the prosecution has been able to make some, been able to prove a few things, they should open their case.
Right.
And national security probes fake passport scandal. Jospon U.S. firm signed MOU on waste-to-energy plant. And the back page says Safo Grays qualify for Tokyo Olympics after GNPC's Ghana's fastest human feats. Herbert Mensah, still rugby president, is here. And Leicester lift first FA Cup. Oh, fantastic.
All right. Listen, guys, is it okay if we get into this thing?
Yeah.
This story that I've been thinking about quite a bit. So it was over the weekend, just yesterday, I think, that I spotted this one on Sam George's Facebook page. It's not that long. Is it okay if I go through? Or yeah, shall I go through the?
Sure, go through.
Yeah, very quickly. This post on Sam George's page. It says, "I am angry. I am sad. I am pissed. Yesterday evening around 8 p.m. I got a call and message from an assemblyman in my constituency whilst I was at church that his 12-year-old son had been rushed to the Bator Catholic Hospital in the morning. The situation had been deteriorating and a decision was made early afternoon to transfer the child to Accra. Calls were made to Kolebu Teaching Hospital, but they refused to accept the child, saying there were no beds. Calls were made to 37 Military Hospital, and they agreed to take the child. This was about 3 p.m. Then the next hurdle began. The National Ambulance Service was called to transport the child. Getting the service was another issue entirely. After getting the service, they insisted that they cannot move the child until they got their own independent confirmation from 37 Military Hospital. For well over 5 hours, they could not get anyone from 37 to confirm. It was at this point the assemblyman, in desperation, called me. I quickly reached out to my colleague and brother Sam Mukujatu Ablakwa, who is the MP of the area, to see if he could intervene with the Bator Clinic. He immediately called Dr. Atuguba, who is the head of the facility, and put me in touch with him. It became clear quickly that Bator had done all they could, and it was in the hands of 37 Military Hospital. Mr. Ablakwa again called a constituent of his, who is a doctor at 37, to see if he could help us. At this point, we had finally gotten an ambulance on standby to convey the child. By the time we got a doctor at 37 to get involved and give the all clear to the ambulance, forgive me, I just lost that there. Giving the all clear to the ambulance service, the little boy blacked out and could not be resuscitated. He died at 10:05 p.m. Why would it have to take 2 MPs to find a bed for a dying child who needed critical medical care? Has deprived me of sleep. Why we have ambulances that cannot move because there's no system in place to let them know where to go angers me. Why we have a world-class facility like the University of Ghana Medical Center with so many empty beds rotting away beats my understanding. Yet another needless death. Should you know a big man somewhere for you to get the basic necessities? This death has really pained me. It has left me bitter at the system. It has left me angry at the hashtag #FixYourself folks. How could the assemblyman or his 12-year-old fix this issue? The Republic is indeed very sick and needs to be fixed. How much longer can we go on like this? May the soul of this little child whose only crime is to be born in Ghana rest in the bosom of the Lord. All right, now I want you to hear from the father of this child.
Member of Parliament for Ningru Pram St. George first shared the story on social media. He recounts the deceased 12-year-old Harry Ineti had been referred from the Bato Catholic Clinic to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital but couldn't be admitted due to the lack of beds. According to St. George, eventually when 37 military hospitals agreed to admit him, they couldn't get him to Accra due to the non-availability of ambulance. Father of the deceased, Michael Neti, tells Joy News his son died after 5 hours of struggling to gain admission and medical transport to Accra.
We did everything possible. Around 8:13 there, about where the ambulance, we finally gotten the agreement from the ambulance that they are ready to go with us. Establishing the call to 7 again became another wahala. So it is just a mere failure on the system that has led to the loss of, if that is not even the main problem, I would say that has caused the loss of the life. It's just unfortunate, and I don't know.
Michael Neti wants government to remove bottlenecks affecting the effective delivery of health care services in the country.
Why can't we even decentralize this deployment of the ambulance? Why can't the district manage that thing? He blacked out. Then the doctors were trying to resuscitate him. We were pressing his chest, trying to bring him back. But then, he in about 10:30, 10:45, he has passed on.
Yeah, that's the father of the poor boy who lost his life because the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing. We have a system that has separate parts that don't even know each other, let alone work with each other.
You remember the man that said after 7 different hospitals, they finally arrived with a 70-year-old, somebody who had served this country in very, very capacities and actually done a lot for the state, could not get a bed to lie on and had to actually suffer and die in the process. There's a litany of, even this is 2018, right? Before then, we complained about this problem. We consistently complained. I remember after the 70-year-old's conversation and others followed up, we were told some 10,000 beds were available for distribution. Others raised the concern that it's not necessarily the number of beds, it's rarely to do with how you manage them, so we will fix the problem. In fact, even in Kolebu, they said they had put in place a system, a very wonderful system where the various departments can communicate with each other to know where they can put who at what time so that we can get to the bottom of this. It just makes it feel like not only is our emergency system in a terrible shape, the entire healthcare system, unless you've had a brush with it without any big man available to help you through it, then you get to know that this is how the ordinary person every single day has to survive, has to struggle, and has to give up on the Republic because you cannot be guaranteed emergency service in Ghana. That's what you put in your mind. I actually feel that you are guaranteed God intervening than having proper system working for you to better off in this Republic.
You are guaranteed supernatural healing more than you are guaranteed physical healing
That's
in
true.
Ghana. And I think I understand why people would feel that way. I mean, look at how things work here. I have an uncle. I'm sure everybody will have a personal experience of this. I have an uncle. He lives in the village. Well, lived in the village. Had diabetes. Complications came up because he wasn't managing it very well. Had kidney problems. Once he was diagnosed in Cape Coast, he was supposed to be moved to Accra for dialysis. He was in a very bad way. Our family called ahead, spoke to people at Kolebu. Everything was set up, blah, blah, blah. This man was put in a vehicle because we couldn't find an ambulance. Same situation. Drove him to Accra, got there, and they made him wait. They made him wait for 6 hours. He died before they could hook him up to anything. And they tried to explain to us that he was so far gone that even if they had hooked him up, it wouldn't have made a difference.
You see, when that particular incident Raymond talked about happened in 2018, then Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Nsiansare, said something, and it's actually reported by the GNE of 12 June 2018. He says, the Ghana Health Service has directed all hospitals not to turn away any emergency cases that are sent to their health facilities at any point in time. The health facilities should rather admit all emergency cases, stabilize the cases, and arrange for proper transfer to a higher referral hospital for thorough care. The directive was given against the backdrop of a recent case involving a 70-year-old man who reportedly died in his car at the Lekman Hospital in Ateshi in Accra after he had been turned away by 7 hospitals because they claimed they had no bed. And Dr. Nsiansare, who gave the directive on Tuesday in Accra at the opening session of the Maternal Child Health and Nutrition Conference, said that it is important that at all points you stabilize the person and not turn the person away because there is no bed. The question you ask yourself is, what has happened to that directive? Did the directive go when Dr. Nsiansare left as Director General of the Ghana Health Service? I thought it was continuity. Look, I've been through this before. We had a friend who got involved in an accident around Jekiti. This guy was taken to the hospital. We had to wait, arrange for a bed before he would be transferred. And talking even about the ambulance service, we all celebrated the distribution of 307 ambulances.
It's almost as if nothing happened.
Exactly.
Because we didn't hook it up to any kind of functioning system for it to actually save lives.
I'm having a strange sense of deja vu because we sat here that day, Raymond, Malik, myself, and Daniel, that morning after the 70-year-old man died, and we had this exact same conversation. And 2-3 years later, we're having the exact same conversation, and you're asking yourself, are we moving forward? Are we moving backwards? Or are we standing still?
We're doing nothing. That's one of the observations we can make from such a tragedy. And I'll tell you the other observation. It's a pity that it's a politician who is pointing this out. A politician, because this is what we've been at the mercy of for several years, from all leaderships, all governments. This is what they've done to us. And I'll tell you one thing just before we go for the BBC, because it's time. These same politicians, because they know that there is no guarantee that the system that they are supposed to make work will work, when they are sick, they fly abroad for treatment.
That's true.
And they leave us to the lottery that is the Ghana Health Service. We'll talk more when we come back. It's time for the BBC.
BBC News, yes, brought to us by Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
I nearly gave up on driving out of frustration. What hadn't I done? Purging, replacing electrical parts, changing my fuel pump, and still the engine noise in my car wouldn't stop. Then I met this guy who said I should try Goil Fuel. By the way, my name is Thomas. I did try Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now my car is renewed. Yankongwa!
Goil stocks only higher grade fuels, further enriched with XP3 multifunctional enhancer, more efficient, eco-friendly, and at no extra cost. Available at every Goil station. Ajibebia. Goil Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP. Higher grade fuels, excellent for modern engines